Alright, so I've been playing Minecraft for about, let's see, about 6 years. And for a big chunk of that 6 years, I've been pretty invested in Minecraft PvP. By invested, I mean I've watched hundreds of thousands of videos talking about PvP, how to get better at it, what to do, how to start combos, blah, 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 blah. But I know that a lot of you out there simply do not have that much time to just watch YouTube and get better at PvP. And so, I have decided that I'm going to make a video where I take all those thousands of videos, hundreds of videos, and I condense it into the 3 biggest factors of PvP, share them with you, and I hope that you guys learn it, and I hope that you guys get better at PvP. So after watching all those videos, I've come up with 3 basic things of PvP that everybody should do. And I guarantee that if you do this, you will literally turn into GamerBoy80. Literally, like immediately. Okay, that's a joke. But I can guarantee that you will become significantly better if you practice and get better at this stuff. This video is going to be divided into 2 segments. The first one is going to be the explanation of these 3 things, and the second one is going to be a duels game where I kind of, just show you guys what I'm talking about and how I implement that into my PvP. Now, the first section is going to have 3 subsections, each talking about one of the individual topics that I have about PvP. There's going to be 3 of them. These 3 are going to be movement, sprint resetting, and accuracy. I'm going to go into depth of all 3 things. I'll leave timestamps so you guys can skip if you want, but let's get straight into it. Alright, so here I am in a super flat world where I'm going to be talking about the 3 main components of PvP. So let's start out with the first component. That first component is movement. Minecraft is all about movement. It's about your own movement, the player's movement, the opponent's movement, and basically the overall idea is you want to be in control of everything. You want to be in control of your movement and your opponent's movement. The best players out there like Purpled, GamerBoy80, Wally Bear, all of these guys know exactly how to control their opponent's movement, which is how they can get into such good situations to essentially kill their opponent. So let's start with our own movement. So when we talk about our own movement, we talk about strafing. Strafing is basically moving from your left to your right or your right to your left. Now, you may ask how this helps in PvP. Well, if you're hitting someone and you're moving to the left and right as well, it's harder for them to keep their crosshair on you, which essentially lets you avoid their hits and the damage that comes with them. Now, controlling an opponent's movement is a little bit more difficult. There are a couple ways to control your opponent's movement. That can be running away and leading your opponent to a better scenario. But there's also something a lot more important than that, and that is canceling your opponent's sprint. Now, this is very, 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 very important. So basically, the holy grail of Minecraft PvP is getting your opponents into combos. Combos always, always, always work in your favor. What a combo in Minecraft essentially is when you hit your opponent without them hitting you. That duration of time is called a combo when you hold a combo on your opponent. Now, it's hard to get people into combos at first when you've just started Minecraft PvP. But here's some tips to make it a little bit easier. And that is canceling your opponent's sprint. One of the basic rules of comboing is that if you're not sprinting, you will get comboed. So if I'm not sprinting, if I'm just walking and the opponent comes and starts hitting me, I'm going to start getting comboed. But if I sprint, it's a lot harder for the opponent to start a combo on me. Now you may be wondering, how do I control my opponent's sprint? Well, that's actually really easy. There are a number of ways to control your opponent's sprint. Now, as I said, there are a number of ways to stop your opponent's sprint, but I'm going to show you the main ways. The main ways are usually using projectiles such as a snowball, an egg, or an arrow, or stopping their sprint with a block. Now I'm going to demonstrate all of these. Now for an example, we're going to be using this zombie right here. His name is Ted. So basically what happens when you throw a projectile at someone is that they get knocked back for a fraction of a second. As you can see, when I threw this at him, he was knocked back. If I throw this egg at him, he gets knocked back. If I shoot a bow at him, he gets knocked back. Now basically what this is if someone is sprinting at you and you knock them back with a projectile, this gives you a fraction of a second to go up and hit them. And as you saw, if he's not sprinting, he can get comboed. So basically what happens when you hit the snowball is they get some backwards momentum. I'm trying to record here, bro. Leave. Get out. Basically, this projectile gives them backwards momentum. Now that backwards momentum cancels their sprint, which when you give them that, you can start a combo. See how far he's going? If I was to not knock him back and just hit him, he'd go not very far. But if I hit him first and then hit him, he goes far and I can start him into a combo. Now this is very, very important if you want to start comboing people and you want to start getting better at Minecraft PvP. Now, using projectiles is good in Sky Wars, but what about Bed Wars? Projectiles are not really common there. Well, in that case, my friend, you use blocks. Now, you can go to literally anyone's channel. Purple does this very, very good, so I recommend going and watching some of his latest streams to see what he does. Basically, if someone is sprinting and you place a block and they sprint into the block, their momentum, forward momentum, and their sprint is completely canceled. As you can see, I was sprinting, and this block completely canceled my sprint. Which means, if I was to place this block, and some guy came and ran straight into it, I could start a combo on him. This is mainly used in Bed Wars because, again, not a lot of projectiles are very common in Bed Wars, especially early game. So people, when playing Bed Wars, they like to place blocks, stop their opponent's sprint. So there you go. That's section 1, movement, done. Now let's go on to the second section. The second section is sprint resetting. Now there are many ways of sprint resetting. Some of the main ones are W tapping. If you look in the right hand corner of my screen, you can see that's W tapping. This is S tapping. And then there's also block hitting, which is this. Basically what this does is it resets your sprint. For example, when I'm sprinting, if I let go of my W key, you can see that my sprint stops. Same thing with S tapping. If I'm going forward and I S tap like this, my sprint stops for a little bit. Same thing with block hitting. If I block, my sprint stops for a little bit. Now you may be wondering, okay buddy, how does resetting my own sprint help me combo another player? Well, let me show you. Here's Fred. If I sprint hit him, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. He goes about 5 blocks. If I sprint hit him and then continuously hit him, you can see that I pass through him. He does not take that 4 blocks of knockback after I hit him a couple of times. Even though I'm sprinting, he's not taking that much knockback. So this is not good, and I'll tell you why. Now if Fred was a player and I knocked him back and I have him in a combo now, I'm going to keep hitting him, but I'm going to get closer and closer to him, and at one point, he's going to be able to hit me. And if he hits me, that combo's over, and that's not good. Now, the PvP community has found a way around this. Basically, if I hit him and then reset my sprint every time I hit him, you can see that he goes that same amount of blocks, that 5 times, every time I hit him. So let me demonstrate again. I hit him, reset, hit him, reset, hit him, reset, hit him, reset, hit him, reset. And as you can see, I never went through him. He never got closer to me. I never got closer to him, which means that he can never hit me and the combo won't break. Now this is very important if you want to keep and maintain a combo. Sprint resetting is very, very important. Now, I personally use W tapping the most because it's just the most comfortable for me, and I'm just really good at that. And the hardest part about sprint resetting is getting the timing. Because what I used to do when I first sprint reset is that I used to just spam the W. And in some cases, this works, but not all the time. You want to get it so that as soon as I hit him, I sprint reset. I don't just mindlessly spam the W. So I sprint, reset, sprint, reset, sprint, reset, sprint, reset, sprint, reset. I don't want to just mindlessly, spam the W button or the S button or block hit. So that's where our sprint reset segment comes to an end. Again, this is very important. You want to work on the timings. You want to practice in a survival world or creative world, just like I'm doing right now or how I did in the example. And you want to just get the timings down perfectly so that you can execute this in a Sky Wars or Bed Wars or whatever PvP game you choose to play. Now, the third thing on my list is accuracy. And boy, can I stress how important accuracy is. Now, if you scroll YouTube and look up Minecraft PvP, you're going to see so many different methods of clicking super fast, getting 200 CPS, and, doing butterfly clicking and drag clicking and jitter clicking and getting insane high amounts of CPS. Well, that CPS means nothing if you can't hit the player. So be accurate. Being accurate is a must. No matter how many CPS you get, if you can't hit the guy, there's no point in having that much CPS. So what I always tell my friends who are trying to learn PvP is focus on accuracy first. Get that accuracy down. For example, I can jitter click, as you can see. I can also butterfly click, but I choose to normal click. Why? It only gets me 7-8 CPS, but I choose that because that's the method that I can aim the best with. Accuracy is important. What I say is that if you're clicking super high amounts but you can't aim, stop. Just stop it. Sure, you can butterfly click, but if you can't aim, don't do it. Make sure that you can aim. Make sure that you can aim. It is very, 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 very important. Now, tying back to the first thing that we said, strafing. When you're strafing and your opponent's moving, it's kind of hard to keep your crosshair on the opponent and, start combos on them and hit them and focus on your accuracy. There's this little exercise that I found on the internet which will help you with your accuracy. So what I did is I put a fence, a wither head, and I just started strafing and just practiced on keeping my crosshair on the head at all times. This is really good. It's a really good practice to keep your aim when, fighting, and you just want to make sure that your crosshair is staying on the head no matter how far you go, no matter how close you go, no matter, which way you're moving. You can jump a few times. You want to just try and keep your crosshair on the head as possible. And even me, my crosshair is going off of the head sometimes, and that's fine. You're not going to be perfect. Just try and keep it on the head about 80% of the time, and just do this, just practice this, 5-10 minutes a day, and you will become much, much better at aiming. Now, when it comes to aiming, there's a little bit of technical tip that I have for you guys as well, and that being your DPI and sensitivity. For example, I can aim pretty good with the sensitivity I'm on right now, but as soon as I go to options, controls, and I send my sensitivity up to hyperspeed, I'm not going to be able to aim. I'm literally moving my mouse like 3 centimeters, and I'm doing 720s and 900s. Your boy dizzy now. But you want to go onto options, controls, and you want to set this to what you feel right. I play around on the 80 mark, about 80. This is how I like. Maybe I want a little bit more, around 83. There we go. That's perfect for me. That 83 sensitivity is really perfect. Now, most gaming mice come with a DPI option. It should be somewhere. I personally don't know what DPI I'm on right now because I've been messing around with the DPI trying to find like that perfect sweet spot. So I don't know what DPI I'm on right now. But you can find your DPI on your mouse and just mess around with that. Mess around with your in-game sensitivity and find what works for you. Once you've done that, it will be so much easier to aim. Alright, so those are my 3 PvP essentials. There's movement, sprint resetting, and accuracy. Now, one's not more important than the other. You want to be good at all three of these things if you want to become really good at PvP. So now it's time for that duels game where I'm going to do some live commentating. So excuse me if I, mess up here and there. But I'm going to do some live commentary and try and walk you guys through what I do when I sprint reset, place blocks, blah, 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 do strafing, movement. And yeah, I'll see you there. Alright, so here we are in a UHC duel. So I always pre-gap, and I go for my opponent now. Alright, so here I'm going to try and, as you can see, I'm already strafing, placing blocks, trying to get him to, as you can see, I stopped a sprint, I'm W tapping. Okay, he's pretty good. Alright. Now I'm going to use a projectile, such as a fishing rod, to try and cancel his sprint, so I can get a combo on him. What did... Okay. Hypixel, calm down. I had to eat a G-head because he's kind of good. But as you can see, I'm placing blocks to try and stop his sprint. I'm using the fishing rod as a projectile to try and stop his sprint. And every time I fight him, after I hit him, I'm trying to time my W taps so that, I kill him. Let's go in for the kill now. Try and end the game pretty quickly. Come here. Oh, he got me in a combo. I've got him in a combo. He plays blocks. I gotta go because I'm low. Eat that. Let's go over here. He's bow spamming. Alright. Oh, we got him in a combo. Let's go. GG. As you can see, I sprint reset, block place, and all of that. And that's what you want to do to get good at the game. You want to practice everything. Sprint resetting, block placements, controlling your player's movement, accuracy. And I'd say on most of those fights, my accuracy was pretty good. You want to make sure that your aim is on your opponent, 85 to 75% of the time. You don't want it to be a 50-50. Don't. You don't want it to be a 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. At least get it 75%. Now, there's no statistical way to see that. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't know one. But yeah. Alright, guys. That's going to be the end of the video. And I really, really hope that these tips help you to become a better PvPer and a better player. Those were my 3 PvP essentials that I feel that everybody should have and learn. Just practice this, and in 1-2 months, you should become exponentially better than what you were. Just keep these 3 fundamentals in mind. You'll become a lot better. And it's Lunar signing out. Peace.